In this section, we will cover the data type known as a string. And I have some good news for you. Strings are very easy to master, and you'll be surprised at how much we can actually do with strings. So what is a string? Now at their most basic level, a string is nothing but a sequence of characters, where the characters can be letters, numbers, or special characters such as punctuation. For example, the English language has 26 letters in the alphabet, so 26 characters in total. But as you may know already, computers don't actually deal with characters, they deal with numbers, and these numbers are known as binary code. So even though you see characters on your screen, the computer is storing this information as a combination of zeros and ones internally. Now the conversion of a character to a number is called encoding, and the reverse process of converting a number to a character is called decoding. Now ASCII, which is spelled ASCII, and Unicode are some of the popular encodings used, and you may have come across these terms before. Now in Python, a string is a sequence of Unicode characters, and Unicode was introduced to include every character in all languages in order to bring uniformity in encoding. Now there's lots more we could go into, but this gives us plenty of background for our purposes when diving into strings. Now if you want to learn more about Unicode, feel free to dive into the material that I've attached in the resources section. Now in order to create a string, we can either use single quotes or double quotes. Now you can also use triple quotes for strings, but triple quotes are used for multi-line strings and doc strings, which we'll cover in another section. Now there is a simple rule to follow when using quotes. If you choose to use single quotes, then use single quotes. If you choose to use double quotes, use double quotes. Don't mix and match, otherwise you'll run into errors. For example, I can print to the screen hello in single quotes, and when I run this code cell, we get hello printed to the screen. I can also print the word hello and include hello in double quotes, and we once again print hello to the screen. For completeness, I can also print hello in triple quotes, which is done using 3 single quotes on either side, and once again I print hello to the screen. Now the type of object here that we're printing is of the same data type. It's a string. And to prove this, if I use the built-in type function and pass in hello in single quotes inside the parentheses, you can see that we get str printed to the screen, which tells us that we're working with a string object. If I were to pass in hello in double quotes or triple quotes into the built-in type function, we'd get the same string object returned. Hopefully this comes as no surprise, but we can also store strings in variables. So if we create a variable called message and we set this equal to the string hello, I could then print what's stored in the message variable, and we then get hello printed to the screen. If I were to look at the type of object that the variable message is, you can see that we get str printed to the screen, because the message variable is holding a string object. Okay, so very simple so far. If we move on, if I try to use a single quote and a double quote around the string hello, so if I put print and inside parentheses put a single quote, followed by a hello, followed by a double quote, you can see that we run into a syntax error when we run the code cell, and we get the message EOL while scanning string literal, which means end of line while scanning string literal, and the Python interpreter recognizes this as a syntax error. But by changing this to make it consistent, i.e. making them both single quotes or double quotes, we address the syntax error. However, there may be times when you have a string that contains a single quote. For example, let's take the following string as an example. I'm having a great time learning Python. So here you can see that when I wrap this line of text in single quotes, we get syntax highlighting that we are not expecting to see. This is because it's seeing that we have opened our first single quote, but then it closes straight after the first letter, in this instance I, because we have used a single quote inside the text itself. Now whenever this occurs, we need to wrap the string in double quotes. This way we tell Python to start and end with double quotes, and therefore the single quote does not take effect and is simply treated as another character. When we run the code, so having put this in double quotes, we can see that we get printed to the screen the result with a single quote inside the text. Now you could also have the other case where the string includes a quote. For example, my teacher said, "Keep going, never give up." Now to turn this into a valid string, we need to wrap this in single quotes, as double quotes would start and stop in the wrong place, due to the inclusion of double quotes inside the text itself. So we just need to make sure that we start and end the string with the same quotation syntax. Now what if the string had both of these occurrences, i.e. the use of a single quote and a double quote within the string itself? What do we do then? Well, we can't start and end with single quotes because it will not consider the full string. The same is true with double quotes. Therefore, we need to use what is known as the escape character, and the escape character is the / symbol. So the / will essentially tell the system to ignore the syntax that is to follow, i.e. the single quote. For example, let's take the sentence, "They're over there shouting, 'Help, help.'" In this example, we need to use the escape character to avoid running into errors, and the / should be placed just before the first single quote. This way, we can start and end the sentence with single quotes, and you can then see that we're able to print the full sentence without any error, as the single quote in the word "there" is ignored. Okay, so far, so good. Next up, let's see how we can access different letters from the string by using what is known as string indexing. See you in the next video.